Good morning. It's Dr. Ashley Romanchuk in my Focused Breath group, Series 1. This is the 6th week of the series, and I am ending at the end of this week. And then I'll begin the Series 2, tentatively November 1st, however that might change. In 6 weeks, I've introduced a lot of different breaths. Pranayama, Kriya Yoga, under Maha Avatar Babaji. And also taught a lot of yogic philosophy, and all of the recordings, all except one, it didn't record, unfortunately, have been posted to my Facebook group, Focused Breath, and then also onto my YouTube channel, Dr. Ashley Christina, Kristina. And all classes run by donation via email transfer to my email, akromanchuk@gmail.com. This is teaching the yogic sutras of non-stealing, also integrity, and allowing people of all different financial backgrounds to be able to come to class and learn. But also basically putting goodwill into your own hands to trade for my years of knowledge and practice and time. And we'll see how it goes in North America. It's me actually still teaching yoga by saying that this is all by donation. As every morning, open a window. If you're lying in your bed, straighten out your spine. I hope that people continue to go through these classes because the breaths that I've given already, you can practice them for the next several months and actually probably a year or two before you're even ready to go into other breaths. And the whole purpose of pranayama is actually to become very still and to sit into meditation. So even with the breaths that I've given, that's enough. I have a bunch of continuing education I have to do, and my yogic practice in my own life, and then work. So I'm quite busy for the next little time, and I've just decided that it's at a good time where people can go over the videos, practice what I've given. Posture is a big one, a very big one. And then get to know these breaths, and you get to know yourself, and kind of start deciding, oh, I need this breath, I need that breath, and start to sense start to get to know yourself. So yogic breathing is about tuning in when your breath is, or when your mind is focused on your breath. You've stilled your mind, which is a big deal, and then you've also turned your senses inwards, which is the first step for yoga. Learning to keep a still mind. There's different ways to do that, different teachings. No teaching is wrong, but it's important that you have that dedication. And already the people that are interested in yoga or getting to that place are already of a certain tier of people, and then there's the rest of society. So stilling the mind, keeping a single, like a one-pointed focus, is one of the first aspects of yoga. Yug is the union of mind, body, spirit. As every morning, for those laying in your bed, adjust your spine so that your spine's straight and elongated. Your sacrum is on your bed. Your legs are turned in so they're not flopped out. Get your shoulders back and down, head elongated, and then just breathing. And if you are sitting on a mat, plant your sit bones. I've gone through this every class, so going through the past classes and really getting the posture is all very, very important as well. Hip bones, your abs are in and up. Ribs, shoulders back and down, ears ribbon up to the sky, jaw unclenched. You do not want to clench and tense jaw, and then your tongue is always up against the upper palate of your mouth behind your front teeth. As every morning, we're going to simply tune in by tuning in. So starting to notice our breath. If you are a mouth breather, starting to breathe through your nose. If you've got problems breathing through your nose, such as you've broken your nose in your life, breath work and the breaths that I have given can actually help align the cranial bones so that you will be able to eventually, over time with work, breathe through your nose again. So pranayama, breath work, actually aligns the spine and the cranial bones. It strengthens the health of obviously the lungs and the cardiovascular system, the immune system, the digestive system. It's a very, very beneficial practice to do for health and watch your body move into health. Very good to do for fatigue and depression and anxiety and even PTSD and things that are ailments that people struggle with in society. So breathing in through the nose, breathing out, don't change the breath, just start to notice your breath. Start to notice how you're feeling today. Perhaps send an intention for the day, for the practice. And we're just going to tune into ourselves. Start elongating the breath. So perhaps breathing in for a count of 4. I'm going to teach something brand new right now. It's a fun and weird one, and it starts to get your upper cervical muscles going too. So for all of you that have been practicing and want to just stay with what we've been practicing, just breathing in for 4 and starting to elongate the breath through the nose. If any of you are like me and like to change things up and learn new things, this one's a different one. So when we're breathing in for 4 through our nose, we're breathing in at like in pulsations almost. So it's like, you do it if you've cried really hard and you're like that, and it starts to strengthen the muscles. So my next series will move into breath work that moves anger, family trauma, stuff from childhood. We're also going to work on breath work that starts to strengthen especially your cervical muscles. There's a bunch of different breath works and breath works. Pranayama, the words. And this one's a fun one. So when I woke up this morning, I felt like I needed this breath. And that's what I'm teaching today. It's a neat one, and it can also go with our introductory breath of just simply breathing breathing in through our nose, and then we start to breathe in for 4. And so this one you breathe in with pulsations. It's like this. You're really using your muscles and you're using them up here, and it can start to strengthen and elongate the spine, cervical spine, back to when we were children before we maybe had a whiplash accident, or, you know, often it's whiplash that changes people's cervical spine and gets the muscles weak and lazy, and you can actually develop anxiety from having these muscles weak and lazy up here, because our medulla is right here. This is our breathing center. So once our muscles around here get weak, it's our head, 8 to 10 pounds, starts to weigh down, and people's medulla starts to function differently. And then breathing and anxiety are hugely connected. So this is when to practice. So like that. And then just breathe. It's like you're catching your breath or coming up for air. Definitely weird. It's very weird. When we really get into, in the next series, some of the breaths that you can start getting into, it is, they're weird. You wouldn't go and do these in front of a bunch of people because they'd be like, what are you doing? But they're powerful. So anybody wants to practice that, do it for a few rounds. Don't do it too much, and you don't want to get like too busy or anything like that. But it's pretty neat how breathing can help you heal your body totally, actually. So like that. Great for anybody that has any thyroid problems, any blocked throat, any feeling like when you're wanting to speak that you've got a lump in your throat, or when you swallow you feel like it's constricted, or you've got a lump in your throat. Any really neck problems, this will start to align the spine. Like that. So this is also good for the thymus, the immune system. So anybody starting to have problems with autoimmunity or low immunity, this will also train the thymus. So. Yeah, and just do a couple of rounds of that. And let's all just go back into a group. And let's breathe in our nose for 4, breathe out our nose for 4. Simple. Okay, so 2 things. I've gone over this in many classes. When you start breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, it shouldn't take very long before you start hearing digestive sounds. This is good, okay? You always actually want to be hearing digestive sounds in your daily life. If any of you are a stressed out person, you operate from sympathetic nervous system, you get anxious easily, you get angry easily. Tuning in every even 15 minutes to do this breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose till you hear digestive sounds, you will basically cause your parasympathetic nervous system to turn on. This is where you want to be in life. This will heal the body. Your body heals when it's in rest and digest mode, especially your digestive system and your central nervous system. So anybody with depression, fatigue, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, tuning in every 15 minutes to just breathe in through their nose, breathe out through their nose, till they hear their digestive system being turned on. That's good, okay? You can create parasympathetic dominance and move away from the sympathetic nervous system. The next thing I wanted to say was something, but I forget what it is. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose, maybe it'll come back to me. Okay, so your digestive system turns on, parasympathetic nervous system. You can create this dominance in you. And I can't remember what I was going to say. I know I say it most every class, but anyways, going back through the teachings, you'll start to pick up the teachings. That's why I'm stopping this series so that people can go back and review. It's so important. And it's about practice. It's not about knowing. It's about practice. Okay, yoga, there's a lot of people that they just study the yogic sutras, they study the yogic texts, but you can tell that they haven't practiced. You need to practice yoga. So breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4, we're going to start restraining the breath. And this is where we're practicing sattva. I had a good quote about sattva, actually. Where did I put it? It's from the Bhagavad Gita. So I've given also lots of knowledge in these classes. Okay, so breathing in for 4. For any of you that are new to this class, which I don't think any of you are, but there might be new people in the future because we have this way that we can post recordings. So we breathe in for a count of 4. We restrain the breath at the top of the breath. So that means we zip it up, just hold it for a moment. Then we breathe out for a count of 4. Restrain the breath at the bottom of the breath, just for a moment. First thing is you wait for the impulse within you to breathe in. Okay, don't get lost in the counting. Wait for the impulse to breathe in. That way you're breathing with source energy, aligned with God, okay? It's like God's this big outside of you, like, yeah, maybe you could look at it as lungs breathing like this. So then you start breathing with this energy. Same timing, there's divine timing in yoga. So that's first. Always with these breaths, you wait for the impulse to breathe in, and then you count them out. And then this breath at the top of the breath and the bottom of the breath, bring special attention to this place. Really fall in and surrender and feel the peace that is felt in this place, the serenity, the eternity, the stillness. And this is the quality of sattva. And learn to just completely fall into it. And then even learn to take what is at the top of the breath and the bottom of the breath with you as you breathe. So this is practicing sattva. And sattva is the state of thoughts characterized by equanimity, serenity, and poise. Sattvika person is detached from worldly transactions and excitements. That means outside of the self. There is a contemplation on the supreme reality. So this quality of sattva is also how one really truly gets into yoga. So that's what we're practicing with this breath. So we breathe in for 4, restrain the breath for a moment. Breathe out for 4, restrain the breath for a moment. I'm going to breathe with you. You count on your own time because I'm also teaching you these breaths. Me counting for you is a disservice. And let's begin together. So breathing in for 4. breath that you could just do. It's a very basic Kriya yoga breath, and you just pay attention to it. That breath is, you could just do that breath. That breath and Om, and sit in your asana. The real asana is to take a seat. Mahavatar, one of the oldest yogis. In my opinion, he's the original Christ. You just teach that breath. And through that breath alone, you get into real yoga. It's a beautiful breath. So you can't go wrong with that one. This breath, not traditional yoga as per everything. This one's not as traditional. Very good for oxygenating the blood very quickly. It's almost like several yawns, and you might do it and find that you need to yawn. No problem. So we're simply breathing in through the mouth and out. Just feel the way the breath moves down, the coldness of the air moves down your throat. It's very yoga right there. Don't restrain the out breath or control the out breath. Just let the diaphragm flop back, so it actually allows the diaphragm to get back into shape properly. Simple. Again, wait for the in-breath so that you don't hyperventilate. This is a good breath if you're stressed out. And if you are stressed out, letting out some sighs on the out breath, very good way to just dissipate some stress in the body. Like that. I don't have many of it. I don't have a ton of stress in my life. But if you're a stressful person, you might be like, like I've been in yoga classes where I've heard some people and I'm like, yo, you need to sigh a lot. It's good. Again, your digestive system should be making noises, and this is a good thing. Any of you on your journey to breathwork or in breathwork start getting into the mudras? Just notice how good it feels. And they all have qualities to help heal the body too. Very cool. So I've said this every class. Breathing will move your spine, move your cranial bones. So safe ways to always attune your head and spine is yeses. So if you're breathing and you need to do this, go for it. The spine is built, the top of the spine is built to basically go yes. No. Very simple. Hilarious. My dad said that my first word was no, and my second word was no way. Very me for anybody that knows me. So attune in with your breath, and then if you feel like you need to move the spine for comfort, go into yes. Okay. And I have in the classes given some other spinal neck movements that you can do, but those are the two very basic ones where just doing that, you will align your spine. So for the other ones, go through the class again because we got work to do in this class right now. Which breath shall we go into? Let's go into our 4-7-8 breathing. This very much retrains the spine, retrains the lungs, retrains the heart. Okay, so we're breathing in our nose for 4, hold for 7. This is a very difficult breath. Breathe out for a count of 8, and we breathe out for the full count of 8. By the time we get to 6, you feel like you don't have your breath there anymore. And we are going to breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. You'll crunch your muscles down here. You can even get abdominal muscles from this breath. So, that's good. Count on your own time. Breathe in your nose for 4. Restrain your breath for a count of 7. Breathe out for a count of 8. If you need to go to normal breath for however long you must do that, you do that. And then come back to this breath. This breath's a practice. It might take years to get it well. Okay. Okay. Everybody just breathe through the nose and breathe normally, and perhaps notice how much expansion you have in your lungs now. It's quite amazing. Quite amazing. Let's go into our Ujjayi breath. Breath of the seashore. This is the breath that moves the energy through the nadi system. Nadi system is loosely translated to the meridian system in Chinese medicine, and it is energetic systems that we have not only within our own body, but we have it outside of our body. Okay, so we have auric and etheric bodies, and when these are healthy, we are very powerful light beings on earth. And this is how yoga, just you as a single person tuning in, doing yoga, can change this earth. Okay, this is what Jesus Christ taught. The heavens are within you. The kingdom of heaven is within. It's yoga. He was a yogi. Like, how people don't understand this is crazy to me. Buddha, Ramakrishna. So this is my book on the Gospel of Ramakrishna. He was God incarnate too. There's been people on earth that came to teach. They were God incarnate. They did it. And they became famous. Ramakrishna is not even, a lot of people don't know about Ramakrishna. He was God incarnate. He was around 1880 or so. And I think he was in Bengal. Oh, this was recorded by a Bengali master. And I wanted to read some of the things that I underlined, and then I read over and I read over and I read over. And Ramakrishna was one of the first that said, there's no wrong way to God. Like, all the religions are teaching just different ways to get to the same energy, and not to confuse the name. Like, it's just a name. That's what I've been teaching in this too. The fact that I was born innately knowing that. I remember being a child and being like, people fight over God. That's insane. Insane. And what has happened on earth in the religious fighting, and like, I speak lots about what's happened with, there's been a lot of wrong. Anyways, focusing on you, focusing on yoga, changing your energy, exuding energy. It's also about learning to exude peace and love instead of exuding anger and hatred and bitterness and sadness. It's a practice, okay? Moving away from unhappiness, moving away from despair, moving away from anxiety and troubles. It's all the practice. So people, do it, please. Ujjayi breath is the breath of the seashore. A very powerful, very important breath in yoga. You hear the seashore, you'll eventually be able to see the seashore, and you move with the seashore. And there is a very, 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 there's a spiritual sea, very spiritual sea. And I am convinced that when they say Noah and the spiritual sea, like, it's all yoga. I'm convinced. So, anyways, so breathing in. Trying to make it extra noisy so you can hear me. You constrict the back of your throat, palate, breathe in through your nose, you hear a sound, you hear a swooshing, and then breathe out, okay? Just practice it. Everything's practice. Focus your mind. if you want. Smile. Every time you're breathing, you can learn to have a smile and light through your face. It's all lights. Okay, there's darkness too. It can be darkness. Darkness isn't so fun. Light is the place I kind of want to be. Pranayama will remove the veil of the darkness. Darkness exists, for sure it does. It's not the truth. Light is the truth. So I'm making my breath of seashore extra strong for you so you can hear it. Practice it, you start to hear it in your ears, you start to move it up into the third and fourth ventricle of the brain, you move the lymphatic system, you move the cerebral spinal fluid, warm the body, warm the digestive system with this breath. It's a very good breath. You might find you want to move with it, that's good. Stretch, right? So you do your jai breath through your movement postures of moving asanas, yoga. The yoga is not the poses or the pranayama. The yoga is the union. So if you do each thing in your life and you're there with your mind completely, you're not thinking of other things or I gotta do this. That's yoga. Okay? So us yogis, we don't need to do this practice. We're already there. Always there. Become a walking daily, every moment of your life. Unionized. Mind, body, spirit. You. Like I read Ramakrishna's work, I say to read this work and I just go cry because it's so like, yes, brings you joy just from reading. So a major goal of yoga is to become free of illusion, maya. It's a very big path. It takes a warrior to walk that path too. I could do this breath for a long time. I love this breath as well. Ujjayi breath. I used to do it. I mean, I still do. I do all these breaths all the time. But you can do this breath through your daily life, okay? Like I would sit in my lectures going through naturopathic medicine and do these breaths. Ujjayi breath especially. I do 4-7-8 breathing sometimes. I would do the breath that I taught at the very beginning, which is real Kriya yoga, just that breath. It's super simple. All the time, actually. I was never awake. I'm never awake. Real yogi knows when to breathe. He knows where they are in space because it comes to a point where you're like ethereal. Let's go into, it's probably getting time. I sometimes have total concept of time and then sometimes have no concept of time. Oh, it's at the end of class. So let's finish with the Kalabati breath. Kalabati. And then I'm going to Om, as I always do. You are welcome to Om with me. Sit in meditation. The main point of this is actually to start sitting in meditation. So if you can even sit in meditation for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, if you're starting to get to the point where you can really get into meditation, please do that. That's the real place where we want you all to be. I can't stand these yoga classes where you go in and you do asanas and whatnot. And if you're really yogi, you're really ready to sit into real meditation. They're like, bye, see you later. And you're like, I can't stand the disservice that North America has done to yoga. It's not yoga. So let's go into Kalibati breath. We're using our second chakra drum. Out of our nose only. Again, align your spine. Make sure everything's aligned. And only the breath out of the nose. Don't worry about inhaling. Always start on an empty channel. So we breathe in. We breathe out. And then start. Okay, I'm going to breathe. I need the tissue actually. I need the tissue. I'll be right back. Continue if you can keep going. Okay, so I love that breath. I love a lot of these breaths. I love Pranayama. I love yoga. And I love teaching. And I love my tuning forks. They're so good. Cleanse your aura too. Very cool. You can align different parts of your energetic body. I've spent hours with these. My family sometimes is like, yo, can you stop? Sorry. I had a really, well, I have the whole harmonics, which basically is all your chakras, all your energetic centers. And then I have this one, which is 4096 hertz. So this is like calling the angels. So you're like, yeah. This is what I do. So high pitched, very, very high frequency. Yeah, you can. People don't realize all these things. Like we've got an aura, and we've got it around you, and then when we go out, and it's like electrical energy and other people's energy. So having a good, healthy aura and tuning forks can help that. I love also Chinese medicine. I really love Chinese medicine, and yeah, you can heal the body with this sort of stuff. Like I've had a lot of neck problems. I was in a huge car accident. It sucked. And then I saw too many chiropractors that really, they didn't help me at all. So I've had to do a lot of healing work. And yeah, G is the throat chakra one. Anyway, namaste. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.